SVG.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right. Good morning, SVG. It is a windy and rainy Tuesday morning. And still yet, beautiful SVG. And I trust that everybody had a good night's sleep. The weather was cool enough for us to be able to sleep properly, I hope. I know that with the wind conditions, that sometimes, maybe we get a little bit worried. I know that after the 2013 floods, I suppose when it rains, it doesn't feel the same to me anymore. I'm a little bit cautious or worried, not so much about myself, but, about certain places or certain areas within SVG. But I trust that regardless, that everybody would have had a good night's sleep and everybody is up and ready to get going for another beautiful Tuesday morning. All right. This is Roleza signing in for today. And Ari is there. Ari, are you hearing me? Ari? All right, so Ari is supposed to be joining me virtually, but I am not seeing him there as yet. All right. So as I said, I trust that everybody is having a good one thus far. It is expected from the weather report this morning that there should be some rain coming through, or possibly rain coming through. So remember to walk with your umbrellas. Children, for those who like to wear their raincoats, remember parents to walk or pack their raincoats for them. Another thing to make mention of, though, is drivers to be very cautious when you are driving on the roads. I don't think that many times, or at least I don't want to believe that many times it's a deliberate act in terms of splashing persons with water. But, if you are approaching an area where you're seeing a puddle or you're seeing a pool of water collected, sometimes we're not always aware of how deep the pool or the puddle is. So just remember to drive cautiously so that we don't end up, well, I'm saying we because I'm also a driver, so that we don't end up splashing water on persons. Because, that's one of the ickiest feelings whenever it is that we're driving and water splashed on us, or when persons are walking and water splashed on us, and then we have to deal with that water and that mucky water that's on us, right? So just be cautious, and everybody else, just take care on the roads today. All right. So we are going to get into the topic as usual. Good morning to Anne, who is my co-host on mornings. Anne is generally one of the first persons to greet us on WhatsApp. So good morning to you, Anne. But I know that there are many other persons out there in Radio Land who are listening, who don't always stop in and say good morning, or they would end up meeting me and tell me that they've listened to the program, etc. So special good morning to those of you who are always there with us here on WEFM. All right. And not just the Activated Mornings program, I might add. All right, so I'm going to jump right into a topic that I saw on Asbot News yesterday. And the title of the topic the article is Pay Our Teachers. Now, I think this is a submission by let me see how it is at the end of this letter. The end of the letter, or the article, with concerned parents of the Petersville School. Right? Concerned parents of Petersville school students. And the article reads, I'm not going to read it in its entirety, but so that you just get the gist of what's happening here. So as parents of the students of Petersville School, we are deeply troubled by the ongoing issue of non-payment of fees to our children's teachers. This situation has reached a crisis point, and it is essential to bring it to the attention of the broader community and relevant authorities. Some of the problems that they're facing is that, one, teachers at Petersville School have not received their salaries since the end of second term. Despite their repeated requests and pleas, the administration continually deferred payments, offering excuses about banking issues or vague promises of payment tomorrow, right? And tomorrow is in quotation marks. This financial neglect has placed immense strain on teachers, impacting their ability to support themselves and their families. Another issue that they've mentioned in the letter is failure to pay salaries has significantly affected the quality of education at Petersville School. Our dedicated teachers, now demoralized and financially burdened, are struggling to maintain their previous levels of performance and enthusiasm. The lack of basic teaching materials, such as chalk, further hampers their ability to conduct effective lessons directly affecting our children's education. All right, another problem that they're facing is that disruption of school operations. They're saying just last week, the school unexpectedly locked, forcing parents to take their children back home. Another problem that they've highlighted in the letter is the continuous financial strain and lack of administrative support were visibly affected or have visibly affected the teachers' well-being. They often appear distressed, depressed, and overworked. Additionally, the departure of key staff members, such as kindergarten and grade 3 teachers, has left significant gaps in the school instructional staff. These positions have not been fulfilled, further diminishing the quality of the education. Another problem that has been highlighted is unpaid NIS contributions, stating that NIS contributions have not been paid since June of last year. This neglect puts the teachers' health and retirement benefits at risk, adding to their financial insecurity and stress. Another concern highlighted in the article is their student safety concerns. They've said that there have been incidents where student safety was compromised and the administration failed to handle these situations appropriately. These events raise serious concerns about the overall safety and well-being of our children while at the school. They're saying that there's an urgent call for action as we, as concerned parents, urgently call upon the Ministry of Education and other relevant authorities to intervene and address these critical issues at Petersville School. Immediate action is needed to ensure that our teachers receive their due salaries and that the school can provide a stable, safe, and effective learning environment for our children. If these problems persist, many parents, including ourselves, may be forced to consider transferring our children to other schools. All right, and as I mentioned earlier, this letter or this submission to Asbot News Network or ANN was signed concerned parents of the Petersville school students. All right, now I'm highlighting this because it's not the first time that I am seeing or having or seeing come to the public's attention issues regarding the Petersville secondary school, Petersville primary school. And I think one of the things is that if all of the information that's contained in the submission of the article is correct, and I don't want to believe that there is a reason why it isn't correct, it seeks to show that there is a serious problem within that school itself, and not only does it reflect on the performance of the teachers, because if they're not feeling motivated or they're not feeling sufficiently have a reason to feel as though they need to get up and to put in that extra effort into teaching the students, then it does have an impact on the students' overall education or their overall learning, right? Many times that we put our teachers on a pedestal, but we also have to remember that our teachers are also humans. They are facing issues such as non-payments. Now, I don't know how many persons are going to feel motivated to get up and go into work on a daily basis if they're not sure of being paid, because being paid is a form of motivation within itself, and to see that we also have these students, their education within the hands of these teachers who themselves are humans, who themselves would be going through whatever financial constraints. We have to take a serious look into it. Now, I know that when I was growing up, that the I don't know why I keep saying secondary school, but the Petersville Primary School was one of those schools that it's a private institution. I need to actually find out whether it's a government-assisted private institution, but it was one of those schools that was, in the top 5 of schools that many students would have wanted, or many parents sent their students to, or sent their children to. And it begs me to question what has happened over the years. It also leads me to wonder how much of this was brought to the attention of the ministry, and what is the reason for it? Because if students are paying their fees, their school fees, and this school fees, let's say in some cases, aren't sufficient enough to carry them through the school year, or let's say the school term, then from the schools end, because I know that for many schools, not just with the government assisted schools, but for many schools, one of the things that they do is engage in fundraising activities, apart from students making a payment in terms of their school fees. But what other measures has the school taken in order to be able to raise funds for the school? And I mean, it is a serious problem, in my opinion, right? And I think it's also the concern of the parents of students attending the school, because if teachers are not feeling as if they are, let's say, appreciated, and appreciation also goes in the form of making that extra effort, or making an effort to ensure that payments are being met, that their NIS contributions are being paid, that the concern, the safety of the students at the school is being addressed, then it is going to cause many students or many parents to want to move their children from the institution and maybe have them absorbed into other learning institutions, other primary schools, right? But the thing of it is that one of the things that I think many parents back in the day appreciated with Petersville, and maybe even to today, is that their classrooms or their population is a lot smaller, so that there is a bit more of a focused attention on their children. This is also one of the reasons why many parents send their children to private schools, because of the fact that the classroom sizes are smaller, so that they feel as if there is that more personalized, or that attention is being placed more on their children as opposed to a larger classroom size, right? So if this situation continues, it is going to cause a problem on the learn. And remember that the children are at an age where they are still developing mentally, right? So a lot of what it is that they're going to be learning is coming directly from their teachers, because not all of them would have that additional home support, or would have that additional assistance from their parents. Let's say if a teacher hasn't been able to teach in a particular area, or to be able to guide them further. If they don't have that home support, many of these students, in terms of their educational development, rest solely on what it is that they're given by way of instructions from their teachers. So I'm really hoping that this situation is addressed. We are approaching the end of the school year, and it is hoped that this situation can be dealt with or sorted for the upcoming school term. All right. So I suppose or at least I'm hoping to hear a bit more coming out of this, maybe directly from a parent at the school itself, to know exactly what the concerns are, and hopefully to have these matters addressed within the new school year. Because as I said, education is important. The children should not, their education should not be held at ransom because of these challenges that are faced within the schools. So let's hope that everything is rectified and everything is sorted within due course. All right,
Can
so
you hear
we
me?
are going to take a break at this time. And
Hello?
remember that coming up at 7:35, we will present to you today's traffic talk. And then at 7:45, we would have Today with Weeks, where we would hear some commentary from Mr. Lansford Weeks. And also to note that at 8:05 today, we will be joined by Francesco Perez, head of the diplomatic mission of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and he will be discussing the anniversary of CARICOM and also the role of Venezuela within CARICOM itself. All right, so you have absolutely no reason to change that dial, but to stay with us here for the duration of our program. All right, so at this time, let's take a quick break for our commercials.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and